All right, let's do it then in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome to the May House Call. Hi, my name's Corey. I do afternoons on the House FM. And with me, what a pleasure to welcome Blessing Offor to the House Call. Blessing.
Woo! Can you just do that yell again one more time, please?
And welcome.
Thanks. That's it.
I'm kind of hoping that gets sampled on the next hit.
You know what? It's being recorded, right? If you guys send me that, we'll put it on something.
Put it on something. Well, Blessing, it's you're living up to your name. It's a blessing to speak with you. We have a number of House FM listeners that have turned in some questions, but Woo! I do have a couple up my sleeve because I get a chance to talk to you. And I thought I'd throw you a couple of those, if you don't mind.
Throw them at me.
I heard a new song 1 week ago today.
Oh, which one?
Featuring some upstart kid that you have blessed with your presence. His name is, what do my notes read here? A Toby Mac? A Toby Mac song?
He's an up and comer. I just thought I'd help him out a little bit, you know?
How exciting is this that's about to come down the pipe?
Man, I feel like just I pinch myself on the daily, and I feel like people think I'm kidding when I say that, but man, Toby Mac, Chris Tomlin, people we've all grown up listening to in church and everything, and I get to make music with them. It is mind-blowing. So grateful, thankful, appreciative. Me and God talk all the time, and I'm like, I just look at God. You know what I mean? So that's just where my life is right now, apparently.
It feels like new artists should start with lower expectations, but you jump right to the Mount Rushmore of Christian
music. Listen, I can't help it, man. It's just, this is what God wants.
I know for a fact that none of the folks on this call have heard the song yet.
Oh, it's a good one, you guys.
Would you mind pulling back the curtain and just telling the name of the song and what to be listening for?
The song is called Goodness, and I'm but a small fraction of what makes the song amazing. Toby kills it. It's a beautiful song, and more importantly, it's just fun. Like, it's up-tempo. It is celebratory. You will be clapping your hands by the time the song is over. You're gonna love it.
Speaking of celebratory, speaking of clapping hands, speaking of hope, we are on the doorstep of a number one song with Brighter Days. What is it like seeing the finish line right there within your grasp?
It's like we don't talk about Bruno. You know what I mean? We don't talk about things until they happen. So you know when you sing do re mi fa sol la ti right before you hit do, so we're at that T point, and it's exciting. And I'm just gonna wait till someone calls me and tells me we've hit do, and then I'll tell you about
it. I find it I want to use the word fascinating, but also I think it's just the power of who God is and who he chooses. But your first song kind of into Christian music is about to be a number one, or a like a Katie Nicole first song number one. It's amazing.
I met with somebody from Katie's team, and he was so sweet. He says, Blessing, this song is, I think his words were, it's the most lyrically obscure song to get this high in Christian music in a very long time. And I was like, whatever do you mean? And he goes, well, you don't even say Jesus, right? And so he goes, that's amazing, and you should be really proud of that. And I was like, well, my heart is such that, the way I grew up, the way my dad taught us is like, you will know them by their works, right? It's like if you don't say Jesus, it's still Jesus. You know what I mean? And if you don't Not every song has to have the same blueprint. You know what I mean? And so I just love that people can feel where my heart is, even not saying all the words that people are used to hearing said. And I just can only give God credit because all I can be is myself. You know what I mean? So that was a huge compliment from somebody on her team. And I was, really, really, really pleased by that and grateful to them for saying that.
Can you confirm nor deny, follow-up question, that you
Yes, sir.
slapped the glasses off his face once he asked?
I can neither confirm nor deny. I said, sir, are you the ones above us right now?
Well, let me throw some questions at you from these amazing listeners.
Yes, please.
Cassandra wants to know what inspired you to start pursuing music.
So I'm from Nigeria. I spent the first 6 years of my life in Nigeria. And when I came to America, it was, when you are an immigrant, you're supposed to be a lawyer or a doctor or something immediately lucrative because that's what you come to America to do. And so I remember falling in love with music when I was around 7 or 8. And it's funny to think back because it's a crazy thing to say to your parents, guys, I'm going to be a songwriter. And I think they were like, huh? You know what I mean? My uncle that I grew up with is an attorney. So I was supposed to go into law and take over the family law firm in Florida, et cetera, et cetera. And then, man, I had a moment and I remember exactly where I was. I was 7 years old. I was sitting in the back driver's side of my babysitter's car. And I heard a song and I can't remember what the song was, but I was like, my 7-year-old brain went, whatever this is, I want to do it. And then I forgot about it. And I went on doing whatever 7-year-olds like kicking the seat or something, you know what I mean? But I was like, I remember thinking, I didn't know what the word sublime was then, but I was like, this sounds amazing. And I want to do that. And that was my first conscious thought of music being something I loved,
Well, wait a minute. You just said something amazing, and we're going to do some fast work right here.
Come on.
So how old are you now?
I just turned 33.
33.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. What is it? Divided by 7? Is that? So what year was it when you were 7? What year would that be?
Ooh. Does anybody want to guess or should I just tell you?
Yeah, just tell me.
95, 96.
Okay, so 95 top songs. We're going to figure out what
those songs were.
Because I was in mainstream radio and you know what it was? I've got it right here. This is an exclusive.
What was it?
Blessing fell in love with Mr. Boombastic, Papa Fantastic, Mr. Fantastic.
Dude, I love you.
Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. The number 2 song was "This Is How We Do It."
Wait, I was hoping it was "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls" because that's a really good one.
Actually, there's controversy over that song "Blessing" because
Paul McCartney
someone says it was "Don't Go Jason."
Okay, wait, did I tell you that?
No, I've heard that through.
Sir, for the longest time, I thought the lyric was "Don't Go Jason Waterfalls." And for the longest time, I was like, why does Jason want to leave so bad? Stop. You know what I mean?
Let's see here. So you fall in love with music. You're a young person.
Yep.
How often did you find yourself practicing singing and playing?
So I fall in love with the piano. You guys are looking at my living room. There's a baby grand piano right over there. And I fall in love with the piano initially, play it all the time. In 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, you don't really have much of an attention span. But for some reason, I just did. No one ever said, "Blessing, go practice piano." I was on it 24/7. So that was the easiest thing to do. And then I played alto saxophone because there's a guy named Grover Washington Jr. If you don't know him, he's really wonderful. Most people know him from the song "Just the Two of Us." He does the saxophone solo. Anyway, so I pick up the saxophone, play that for probably 10 years. And then I decided, hey, the saxophone doesn't help me write songs. But you know what does help me write songs? A guitar. So then I started playing guitar, and I love the guitar. As I'm sitting here talking to you with the guitar in my hand, so the piano and the guitar are my two instruments. Discovered singing, was really shy about it at first. The first performance of the vocals I ever did were horrendous because I was so nervous. Everything, I was shaking. But man, eventually I was like, I cannot picture anything else in the world that I would rather do. And like, I come from a family of pretty like good brains, and so there was a lot of possibility to do a lot of things. But I love putting words to melodies and putting chords on them, and that's what God built me for.
I love that.
Yeah.
Gracie wants to know, what's the most difficult part of being an artist?
Oh, woe is me. I get to run around the country and play songs. Difficult. You know what it is? Honestly, I think, and I'm assuming we're all believers here. So there's a certain, there's a guy named Tim Keller who I really, really love. And he did this sermon where he was talking about King Nebuchadnezzar. And he was talking about how the human heart has the capacity to always want more. And I remember even probably a year ago, I said to myself, I just want a song on the radio. And then I got a song on the radio. And then you go, I just want, and then you get the thing. And so every, once a week I meet with my pastor. We do coffee because usually I'm out of town on the weekends. But like he says, how are you keeping your heart steady? You know what I mean? So I think one of the things that I look out for, and that the people that care about me look out for, is just the ability to stop and appreciate the moment instead of looking to the next goal and the next goal and the next goal. So I think as humans, we always want to catch the next thing. And I am getting better at just saying, oh my God, I get to wake up and I'm living, this is the dream. No matter what else may or may not happen, this moment is the dream. And that is awesome. You know what I mean? So just that like centeredness sometimes can be hard to achieve unless you consciously make a point to do so.
There's a lot of artists that would eat their young to have the number 2 song.
Except, who am I to complain? You know what I mean? So
let's see here. When did you realize, am I saying this right? Shonia? Sorry, I'm gonna call you Big S. Big S.
Corey, you're my favorite.
when did you realize that God was indeed real to you?
Ooh, I love that question. It's a funny thing. I never doubted God being real, only because it was just part of our family upbringing. And someone said to me once, your concept of God is very similar to whatever your concept of your human father is. Like, if you had a father that was there and present and loving and all these things, then the idea that there's a God that would care about you in that way doesn't shock you. You know what I mean? And I kind of really like that. And I have the best dad in the world. And so the idea that there would be a God, an omnipotent version of my good earthly father was never hard for me to get into. So I think I've always known, but like there's a moment when it goes from like childhood faith to grown-up faith. And for me, that was through college. Like you go through all the questioning and then you read all the books. And then eventually like I approach things very intellectually. God met me in my thinking on such a level that I was like, oh, this is mine. This is my relationship now, not just something I got from my dad. You know what I mean? So that was a little bit of my journey anyway.
I'm going to go off script, Blessing. I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Come on.
I know the reality answer to this question is there's no way that we can do that. But
yes.
if you could undo one moment in your life, what moment would that be?
Undo a moment. Ooh, dude, you ask the hard-hitting questions. Okay. Man, I'm going to give you an answer, and it's not like a canned answer. Here's a question to your question. if I undid a moment, would it unravel everything that brought us here?
It would.
Because if the answer is yes, then I wouldn't undo anything. You see what I'm saying?
Tonight on a new episode of Lost. That's exactly what just happened right there.
Because if you undo a moment, who knows what it would have done? And so I like where I am and who I am and whose I am. And this feels good. So I would not undo anything.
John, I've got your question right in front of me, but I'm gonna change the wording a little bit. We've already talked about a song with Chris Tomlin. We've already talked about a song with Toby Mac. Who, Blessing, is on your bucket list of like, I would like to do something with Bill Murray?
I mean, the big ones, but like Tori Kelly, been a huge fan for a long time. Torrin Wells, I feel like we could do something fun. There's an artist named Molly Music. He's awesome. On the pop end, you know, there's an artist named Her that's really, really cool. There are, I don't know, John Bellion, huge fan. So there's so many people in the world that I would be honored to work with. And slowly but surely, God willing, we will be there.
I'm a music nerd, Blessing, and today is Stevie Wonder's birthday.
You know what?
On his first tour, when he was in his early teens, he made $2.50 in a week. And the record label also got him a tutor. And then he couldn't touch that money till he was 21.
Good on him. Yeah.
Which is just insane now. I mean, I think the net worth I looked up, he was like at 110 million. So there's no telethon for Stevie Wonder later today.
Way beyond $2 a week.
But when I watch Stevie play harmonica or piano, the word that comes to mind, that dude rips.
Rips.
I've yet to see you play in person, but I've heard from multiple people you can rip on a piano. Where does that come from?
Play some keys. I think, okay, here's another point of fact. I just started piano lessons again. And most people will be like, why are you taking lessons? And it's because, like, yeah, I play piano, but there are people better than me and I still desire to learn. I still desire to like improve my skills. I'm going to start guitar lessons in a minute. I have a voice teacher. It never really stops. You know what I mean? But you take lessons so that when you're on stage, whatever idea pops into your brain, you can immediately execute without a like lag time. So part of the reason anybody rips on anything is because they've spent a lot of time at that thing. You know what I mean? On piano, if I hear an idea, it comes out 95% of the time. I want that other 5%, and that's why I started piano lessons again. You know?
Well, I can only speak for me, but I'm truly inspired hearing that you're still a student and you're learning.
Always.
And, that's stellar.
Always, man.
I'm looking down at the clock, and I feel like we might need to wrap it up, girls. Do you feel okay about that? Plus, I want him to be ready for his guitar lesson.
Allegedly, he says.
Let's see here. Oh, I'm told we need to take a picture. While we get the photo ready, House FM listeners, if you want a deeper dive with Blessing, he and I chatted about 2 or 3 months ago, and it's on my podcast on the House FM app, and you learn about his upbringing. You learn about why he's got the sunglasses on. You
can we do that again?
Going from Nigeria to America. Yeah, we do a pretty deep dive. And
let's catch another interview, man. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, I appreciate that. You fall in love with him pretty quick. By about minute 4, you fall in love with him. All right, Blessing, we're going to take a picture here with all the House FM folks. So put on your best smile, and I'll give us the countdown.
Let me make sure we're here.
2, 1, smile. We're good.
Excellent.
Round of applause for Blessing.
Woo! Dude, anytime.
And that's the end of the May House Call. Blessing, thank you
Oh
so
my
much.
God. Dude, you are a 7 of all 7s, and I love it. Like, amazing.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, April. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Gracie. Thank you, Logan. Boy, the font is small on this thing. Everybody, have a great weekend. Blessings
Yes,
to you,
sir.
okay?
Cheers, buddy.